to know the artist behind the epic melodies, songs, and beats. Celebrating the best new music from around the world. This is the A State of Trance podcast.
Hey, what's up? My name is Philology and this is a new A State of Trance podcast, and I am super happy that he's here in the studio because this man has been part of my career also for a very long time. I remember going back to his release party of his album in 2009, Purple Audio. Good times.
A while ago, mate, but it was good times. Yeah, it was fun in this car salary thing. Yeah, it was fun.
It's fun. Welcome, Alex M.O.R.P.H.
Thank you. Hello.
How are you doing, Alexander?
Very well.
Yeah,
Ruben.
That's good to hear. So what we're going to do this podcast, I'm just going to dive into your history a little bit, go over sort of a timeline, so you can tell some things about what happened and what happened and how you are getting into the position that you are right now. And I have a couple of questions that were submitted by fans as well. The first question that I always ask is, how did you fall in love with dance music? Do you still remember Do you still remember that there was a moment like, hey?
Oh yeah, I was 13 something, and then everybody was like looking for the thing, with 13, what to be interested in, and then came this electronic music out, like Inner City and these things, and Westbam and Party, and I was like, oh man, this is great. This is such a great energy, and it's completely different from what I knew before,
Yeah. So before you were listening to like pop music, rock music.
Oh yeah, it was from my sister, my brother, Simon Garfunkel and these things and 80s stuff. It was like, it was different.
And then suddenly bands like Westbam came along and you were like, holy moly, what's this?
Yeah, Westbam, he was one of these guys, the pioneers in Germany for sure, And he did the first race like Mayday and all these things, and it was a completely revolution.
Mm-hmm. And then at a certain moment you were like, okay, I have this passion for this music right now. Now I want to start DJing as well, or producing. What was the first thing that you did? Was DJing or producing?
No, DJing, definitely DJing.
Yeah.
And my first record turntable, whatever you call it, was a dual pitch ±2 with a belt drive. So it was like, it was not fun, And then there's a tape and it was running, and I had to try to mix in the tape at least to get one thing running. And then, I got my first money for the first techniques, and the equipment grew up. I mean, these days it's way easier. You just Google it, but those days there were a few shops selling this stuff,
Yeah. So you bought two belt drive.
I had one first, and then got the first techniques and saved some money. But that was the worst time. You have one techniques, and then you have the beep beep dual belt drive.
It's like you have half a Ferrari and half a Lada.
Yeah,
together.
Half a Ferrari, half a bicycle, I would say.
But I guess learning mixing like that is the best way to do it.
That's how you learn it, and because you have to find ways how to do it. Because when you touch the techniques, it has so much power. The drive, and the bell drive is like you touch it just one time, like ooh.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then you're recording these tapes. When I make tapes, mixtapes, it was about mixtapes. I mean, nobody was introducing you. A mixtape was your business card.
Yeah.
So you're recording like 40 minutes, and then you screwed one transition up. You're like, let's start again.
So you were just buying records back in the days, and then you were making mixes. And
I spent all my money for records.
Yeah,
all my money went down for records. My friends were like, these Blue System jeans and the Poshy jeans and sweatshirts, and like, oh, this is a weird dude. He's spending all his money for this vinyl disc, But I liked it so much, I didn't care much.
Yeah. So and at which moment was it like that you started getting club gigs?
Oh, it was kind of early.
The tapes that you were handing out?
Yeah, I was handing out tapes, and it was like 16, 17. And it was kind of funny because it was in Bielefeld. It was like 1.5 hour drive from my place. So I was training at my workplace, learning a job, and on Wednesdays it was the only chance to get a gig there. So it was playing on Wednesdays in Bielefeld. A friend of mine was waiting around the corner. I sneaked out at night with my vinyls, and they're not light, they're heavy, and then sneak out, you run around the corner, drive to Bielefeld, do your set, drive home, and then it's like you wake up, you shower, and they're like, hey son, how did you sleep? Good, thank you. Then have a good day, They didn't even know.
They didn't know that you were playing gigs?
No.
They must
16,
have
come on, no. Yeah, I think my mom, she guessed something, but she was kind of cool. Father was a strict guy, was like,
Yeah, but you notice when someone is leaving the house.
Yeah, he slept like a stone, man.
Yeah.
I had an own entry. That was a good thing because I had a basement flat, let's say it that way.
Yeah.
And next to the garage there was a little door, so it was my door, so I could escape easy.
I'm trying to picture this.
Man, when people look at this like, what is this guy doing there? Why is he like this? Why is he sneaking in and out all the time? It's like, but it was the only way to make it work. I think it was just one thing they would notice, you know.
What kind of music were you playing back then?
Acid.
Acid.
Yeah, I loved acid.
Just acid bass lines.
Acid and techno and these things, you know. What is hip now? I played already 25,000 years ago, guys.
I wouldn't say 25,000 years.
No, 24.
Something like that.
No, but I really liked it. Acid was like, I loved it. I became friends with Ollie Boncio from Hardfloor, and I was touring with him a little bit, just as a friend, you know.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun.
Sorry. So, okay, you were DJing. You had was that a residency on Wednesday?
Yeah, it was sort of residency. I think twice a month or something.
Okay.
Yeah, you can call it residency. Yeah.
And at a certain moment, you were like, okay, besides DJing, I also want to start making music.
Yeah, it was not so romantic actually, because it was like, everything grew and everybody wanted to be already these days a little bit a DJ. The cool guys wanted to be a DJ.
Yeah.
And
but there was not a lot of DJs back then.
No, but you know, when you're in a different scene, there are people also coming in. It's like, and they don't want to be having gigs and stuff. And then there was like a guy that did a rave in Bochum, and was one of the first biggest rave in my hometown. It was like 14,000 people. He said, "Yeah, I'm doing this compilation. I need a track." I said,
"Track,
great, thank you. What do you mean track? Yeah, we need a track because it's better for your name, and you need to put your name on this for the CD as well." So that's how I got into this production thing. And I was looking like, okay, what should I do? You know?
Yeah.
And back to Bielefeld again. There was his friend who booked me for the club, and he had a little studio. That was the first track we ever did.
Which was Paysages?
No, that was before. And it had a funny name. It was called Wirbel. You know, like snare roll.
Snare roll.
Yeah,
okay.
very very creative name. You know. Yeah, but that was the first ever track.
Must have been hard also to make music back in the days. Harder than it is. Well, obviously now we have.
Everything is now in VST. That's the fun part now, because there's no noises and there's no MIDI problems. You know, in those days, I had a 303, and I went with my 303 by train to my friend in close to Frankfurt, and we were sitting in the studio there the whole weekend and bubbling around with the 303. And when you didn't record it well,
it was gone.
It was gone. Yeah. Exactly. Also, the mix down on the I think it is Soundcraft mixer, like 64 channels, and we made screenshots, and on paper we wrote everything down, all the EQing, you know. And next time you came, you did everything the same, and you know what? It sounded bad because it was not the same anymore.
No, different session, different sounds, even like the smallest little difference.
There's something in the compression or something, just a little thing, and like, no, it's not like that. And you spend the half weekend trying to recover it, and it didn't work out.
Yeah. And now you open a project, everything's there, 25,000 channels.
Thank you. Yeah. No, our biggest enemy is the updates. You know.
What did you prefer? Like having sessions that you had to finish a song straight away, or that you can just take, 2 years to finish something?
Yeah, it was a little bit more fun sometimes when you back in the days, because there was no deadlines on something. You know, and it's like, these days you have to deliver all the time. It's not like they can. Of course, some artists, they take their time and stuff, but you have to deliver. Because everything goes faster, people demanding new music. I remember I released my album, you played there, and 2 days later, yeah, Alex, can I ask you something? I said, yeah, sure. Is there any new music coming out soon? It's like,
what do you mean? I just released an album.
Exactly, 14 tracks here.
Yeah.
It's but like, times are changing, you know.
Yeah, that's very true. In good times and bad times also, to be honest. Because sometimes you feel like, okay, the times that we live in right now are a little bit worse, but on the other side, there's a lot of nice things as well.
Good things and bad things, you know. The technical benefits we have these days.
It's unparalleled.
I remember when I was like doing these things, and now 16, 17 years young, you drive to 2.5 hours drive somewhere, and the gig was cancelled, and people didn't even reach you because there was no cell phone, nothing.
You couldn't post online, hey.
They canceled last minute. You're arriving at the club, like, guys, what do you want? I said, I have to play a set. No, it's cancelled. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, drive back again.
Exactly.
Well, that doesn't happen anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, luckily not.
Let's go to you first. Well, first of all, I've always wondered this. So, how did you come up with the alias Alex M.O.R.P.H? Why the M.O.R.P.H part?
Man, this is
must have been a question that you had.
How long is the
podcast?
Times already. How long is the podcast?
Well, we have all the time we need. There's a couple of people here that will probably think.
Yeah, well, actually, my favorite track from one of my favorite labels was a track from Oliver Lieb called M.O.R.P.H. Mm-hmm. That was my favorite track for ages. And then the time came and he did an artist name, because the flyers were done, like we did a name. Oh, my normal name doesn't really sound nice. So I was like, okay, let's do something. And I thought it was very smart. I was like, let's name it after the track you like so much, M.O.R.P.H, And it worked out well for like a year or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a call from Berlin. There was a group already, a project called M.O.R.P.H. They were releasing, I will never forget that, Formaldehyde Records.
Okay.
It was a serious call, 16, 17, like, yo, hello, this is guys from Formaldehyde. Are you the M.O.R.P.H guy? I said, yes. Yeah, we are M.O.R.P.H too.
Okay, and then how did you settle that?
It was kind of easy. They said,
rock, paper, scissors.
We have already releases, so our name is protected. We have game something like Be My Stamina.
Okay, yeah.
You change it now, or you're gonna pay a fine of 50K. And I was like, you know what? Let's change the name. I mean, there was no support from home. My father, he was like, everything was new, and you're like, what are you doing in your basement, like with these records all the time? Learn an instrument. I buy you a trombone. I said, I'm out. Yeah, so there was no support. And then it's like, okay, then it was an easy decision to change the name. And I said, you know what, but I didn't want to lose. I had a few fans these days, who followed me. And I said, I can't do something really completely new. And I said, yeah, let's do Alex M.O.R.P.H. And then I put the dots just to have it way more different than the other guys.
Is the A.M.O.R.P.H, is that still around? Is it still existing?
I think they stopped.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What a surprise.
But thank you guys. It's way
karma.
better this way.
Yeah,
thank you for the call.
No, I agree, to be honest.
Yeah,
so your first release as Alex M.O.R.P.H was then 1996. Paysages.
Yeah, that was...
on Zeelandlandschaften.
Clever-wise, we started with M.O.R.P.H. It was a bit difficult. Woody pulled his hair many times because of my names, because I always came with new names. Let's do this M.O.R.P.H, let's do this name. And it's like Lexwood, and I always came up with new names. So and it was not really... There was no guideline, and to put everything on the name and focus on the name, whatever you do. So it was like the first releases were under M.O.R.P.H, and was IDT Records, Consequence and Maximum Overdrive. That's what many people.
Benicio remix.
Yeah, exactly. That was my favorite.
What a tune!
I loved it.
Yeah, that was.
And then people always come up, not always, but many people come up like, you should do a new version of this. But it's like one of these tracks. I don't know.
I don't have to. It's still perfect.
Especially if I make a new version, because my favorite version is about the Benicio mix. So shall I remix then the Benicio mix, or shall I remix my own mix? I was like, don't do it. I just leave it as it is.
Focus on the new stuff, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah. And from there on, you went into the club groove era from the year 2000 and 2004.
Yeah, the double B club groove.
Yeah. Do you still remember signing all of those tracks on there as well? Like, what was that movement like? Because in 2000 and 2004, those were different times.
Yeah, well, it was like... it was a step after, because Woody and I, we worked already together, and then they started this Club Groove label, and it was, of course, way easier to get the release done there because they were my friends. Mm-hmm. They were still critic. It's not that they say, because you're my friend, you will release it. I have to deliver. Anyway, it's good music, but it's like, it was a bit easier, especially contract-wise. I mean, when you have your friend doing a label, you trust him 10 times more than a other label.
Yeah.
Because contracts are around since music is getting released commercially, and you have to be careful with this.
Very careful.
Yeah.
If you're a new producer in this world, make sure to don't just sign away your contract. Just make sure to have
many
someone.
We're so happy because amazing! I have my first record deal, and then
that's what it is. And then you get a 15 pages contract, and you just sign away your rights for the rest of your life.
It's very confusing. But this is the good thing. This gentleman over there.
Let's get Woody.
Woody, yeah, he's doing all the contracting,
Woody, get on the microphone, please. He's here anyway, so you might as well. Here, get on this one or that one or whatever. That's okay, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, or whatever you want. It's your party. If you put on some headphones, are there headphones laying around there? I don't think so. It's fine.
Is this okay?
He'll hear it. It's a professional podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We just
only two headphones in the studio.
This is very prepared.
Very, very prepared. Of course, Woody. Do you still remember starting out working with Alex? Tell us a little bit. How did you
remember it like yesterday.
Was it like a discovery, or was it something that you were? You already knew each other.
I think
it started. I think it started that we know each other. You were talking about this rave.
Yeah.
It was called Century Rave. And my then partner, Andre Tannenberger, afterwards ATB with Sequential One, we did the anthem for that thing. Mm-hmm. And I was the presenter of the whole night. But I of course, again, I had an accident. So I went on stage with a broken leg. And there was no headsets these days. So they taped a microphone around so I was like this, and it looked terrible. So, and on that night, Alex was the closing DJ.
Okay.
And I think Mate Gallic.
Which year was this? 1990?
94?
Okay.
95?
Okay, holy shit.
Yeah, Mate Gallic, yeah.
Mate Gallic, he now is a big guy in, I think in Ableton or something in Berlin. By then he was like the star DJ in Germany, right? Like he was a big guy. And Mate Gallic didn't show up. So the promoter asked, Alex, can you play an earlier set? And then you play. And I said, oh, ladies and gentlemen. So I went on stage with my fantastic microphone. I did an amazing announcement. I love those days. Oh, now put your hands up. You know, big stadium announcement.
Sensation.
The biggest introduction ever.
So the biggest introduction. And he started his first track. And he felt like, wow, the place is full. Because his set was supposed to be 6 hours later. And he started his first track, and I think Mate came 4 minutes later, and Alex was like, wah, wah, wah.
Oh,
so
you left straight away. Yeah.
He took him off stage and then took Mate Gallic on, and he was like, oh. I felt so bad for him. So afterwards we started talking, and then he started coming around, you know, back in 95, 96. And actually the moment that we said we have to work together, because I always admire what he did, and I was the very commercial DJ, and he was very underground. I think over the years we went a bit towards each other, but so back in I think it was 1999, we just had new offices, and ATB was born, and everything was big, and you know we had people working there. And Alex was close friend to one of the guys that we did the label with. Mm-hmm. And actually on that day, look at him laughing. At that day, he came in the office, and I said something is wrong. He went in the back, talked to the guy, and then the doors were slamming and there was big shouting. And I said, well, what's happening? And Alex said, I just went in there. I tell him to F.O. I will never talk to him. I will never come to your premises. I will never come. He was really, I'm going to stop with music. He really felt, that's it. You know, I'm going to stop with everything.
I officially canceled the friendship.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
no.
went there to cancel a friendship. And I said, hold on. Now this guy that I really think should be a big DJ, I said, come in my office. So I had the front office. He come in my office. We sat there for 2-3 hours, talked about. I said, okay, I will never promise you anything, but I'll promise you that we work together. And this is 25 years ago.
And here you are.
Mm.
Here we are with you.
And look, I got big. I got big.
And you were still throwing doors sometimes, or no?
No, well,
TVs.
not so much. TVs and remote controls, you know.
Well, if you guys know each other for 30 years already, there must be some like very good touring stories or weird stories that no one has heard before.
Oh man, we can write a book. We did funny stuff.
What is the funniest thing that ever happened?
Brighton, the flushing toilet. Is that maybe funny?
Well, if you say A, you have to tell B as well. So
No. Well,
you could tell that one, and you can think of another one also.
And well, we pranked taxi drivers bad.
Oh yeah,
we bad way, you know.
Maybe we can excuse ourselves for being here and there, not like. So Alex starts making a joke. So we sit in a taxi after a gig, both in the days that Alex still had a drink with me. That was actually the reason we started back to back, because I was playing Brighton and I was like quite enough drunk. I said, Alex, back me up, man. And he was there as a guest. So he backed me up and I said, why don't we do back to back? And that was the beginning of back to back. So in Germany, we were coming from a club, going to the hotel. And Alex just sits there and says, you think Frank is in Vienna? We were in Frankfurt, that's 500 kilometers. I said, yeah, maybe. Shall we go there? Shall we go with the cab? No, we have. And the cab driver looked in the mirror and said, oh, I guess one to go to Vienna.
You know, it was like, oh, ka-ching, ka-ching. You know, he was counting the money already. Like,
so, and then he says, okay, I'll text him. And then he pretends that he's texting, and then I'm giving something. And so the story builds up. But the story went so big that the guy like he was driving somewhere, and then he was
so excited. He was like, "Yeah, Centrale, you know, how much is it to Vienna?" Yeah. And I was collecting like,
he was counting the dollars. Right?
He was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be
5,000 euros.
Yeah, 1,200 something." Like,
yeah, okay,
you know,
let's
in the budget. You know, no, that wouldn't be an issue, you know. And then it got bigger and bigger, and he was so like, "Yeah, let's go." And then Then he said, you know what, he just texted, he's pulling out, he's going home. So actually we canceled the whole thing, you know.
The man was already in his mind, I'm going to eat lobster
he
today.
Was,
and he loves that.
And
then
not happy with that situation.
And then he got in his mind.
I think it was from some dodgy country as well. So we were thinking now he's going to text his friends and, you know.
And then we stopped at a petrol station and he said, I need to ask for the way. And I said, something is fishy here. And he pulled out the cell phone in the petrol station.
Oh, we had vinyls, huh?
We disappeared. We
ran away with the vinyl.
We were sure he was going to beat us up or something with his friends. So we took the vinyl, got out of the taxi and then ran over the rails and stuff and then through the woods. We're escaping, actually. we had to escape.
Oh my God. Okay, that's a good story. What is a thing that you're not allowed to tell anyone else that happened with you guys?
Well, we killed the television in a hotel a while ago. Yeah, a friend of us, he was already in the room, and we came back from the show, and we went to the room to say goodnight and talk a little bit, chit chat, you know. Everybody was like, something is wrong with the picture, and the guy was like, no, everything is all right with the picture. No, something is wrong.
Your television, man.
And he had
it's blurry. It's not really.
Yeah, don't do this at home, okay, guys? So he had a bottle of beer, and he was pouring the bottle of beer in the television.
Oh, no.
And then the television was like, you know, steam came a little bit out, a little bit of steam, you know.
No.
The friend completely freaking out. What did you do? What did you do? I have to pay this. You are so bad, guys. And then I walked out, and you know what? There was a sign from above for sure, because there was another room open. Yeah. And we switched the television. We swapped the television. No idea who got the invoice for the broken TV.
Mostly we have bad stories or funny stories about... actually, there's one hotel in the world until today that I'm not allowed to go in no more.
Okay, which one?
Officially. So in the days that Alex still had a drink, we came from a club called Go Park in Germany. And we went to the hotel. And Alex had the habit after the night. So when I have too much drinks, I start drinking water, and you know that's so I'm okay then. But he still had the last drink on the bed. So Alex sits on the bed, and I said, I went to his
talking
door.
Privately. Don't worry, guys.
A nightcap. Just between us. Fine.
So I was bumped into Alex, don't open the door. So, I'm having my final drinks. Open the door. It's urgent. So he opened the door, and I started. Whatever I found on the floors of the hotels, whatever I had, carpets, fire extension, flowers.
It's not only him; it was 7 people.
So
him
all of
and
us,
6 friends,
everything in the room,
carrying a huge palm into my room. Everything.
So they put everything in your room.
Put everything in my room and had a laugh like.
There was a fridge on the floor, so we put that in the room. There's everything, you know.
And then they escaped.
Everything in the room, full.
And they escaped. Then ran away. And I was like.
We went.
And you sat on your bed
No,
with
he was laughing. He couldn't do no more. He was like, he was drunk. He was laughing, and then he fell asleep. And then next day, you know, how do you explain this to the hotel?
Can't. Impossible.
So after that, you were banned from that hotel.
Yeah, but the hotel is closed. Yeah, we are banned.
Just him.
Because
you were like, okay, it's not my fault.
I looked a bit sad, you know. I looked a bit sad, and I said that was outnumbered, guys. You know, look at this guy. Would you trust him? He said no. I said, well, you see.
That hotel is closed by now, so.
Fair enough. Hey, while I have you here as well, I was just mentioning the Club Groove era, but in 2004, Philology came to life, which is also a label.
Yeah.
That's when you jumped on board as well with Flaming Clouds.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit, why did Philology come about and how did you get on board?
Well, Club Groove was a joint venture of 2 others and me. And I had the feeling that I want to do something for my own, because if you work with 3 people, there's always 3 decisions. There's always 3 no's,
opinions,
3 yes, opinions. And I said, I want to do something completely for myself. So I started Philology. And the music that Alex was making that day, because Club Groove went quite commercial with the Bad Habit Boys and quite, you know, rank 1, of course, as well as being a cool act. But it went quite commercial. So I said, why don't we use Philology? And you know, in the days with the vinyl, it was cool. And Alex did, I don't know, some 5, 6, maybe you know better, 7 releases on.
Quite a few, yeah.
Yeah, you are the vinyl expert here.
I'm the vinyl expert. I have quite a few Philology records on vinyl, yeah.
So that's why
6 for sure. It was 6 for sure, I would say.
The first Philology was a white label, and I remember one of those days, one of the big German DJs. We never were like friends. And the track was called Unfinished Symphony. And he had a big radio show in Germany. He was playing it non-stop, and I went like, wow, you know, he doesn't like me, but he plays my music, you know. And then one day he found out, and I talked to him and said, "Hey man," I said, "That was your track." Yeah. I always felt it was not really finished, that symphony. So, well, thanks for the support, you know. It was Unfinished Symphony was just the name of the track, you know. But that was the first one. And then I think the second was even an Alex M.O.R.P.H release.
Was it 2 or 3? I'm not sure. Flaming Clouds, Kate Peters. Flaming Clouds.
Yeah, I still remember those days, to be honest. Well, you had a lot more stuff that you did together as well, and then in the future after that, of course. But first, I want to one of the things I remember really got you on the radar for me, at least, was Life Less Ordinary, of course, in 2007, and Walk the Edge in 2008. Those were records with Dick de Groot, I think, both of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Dick.
Yeah.
Dick de Groot. Yeah.
Why did you step away from releasing on Philology and then giving those records to somewhere else?
Well, there was not really a big reason behind it. I think maybe the schedule was full as well with Philology, because a few other artists came on board, and it's like, let's do it on another label. And it's like, there was not really, you were not really thinking about it.
Yeah.
It was not like somebody's...
Different days, like you were...
there were not politics or something, you know, just like you felt it like, okay, let's try it there. And then he was always dealing with all the records of all his artists, and he was sending out stuff, and he liked to get things done, you know, and he was like, today I did 3 deals, you know.
Well, I remember that I was like doing some kind of the management for Rank 1 in the days, because we signed the Airwave track and the all others to Club Groove, and I remember Alex came with this demo. And I was always talking to Pete and Benno. I said, "Hey, listen to this. I said, maybe we can do a collab." And I think Rank 1 was already releasing on IDT.
Yeah, everything that they released was with IDT.
So was done,
And we, of course, you know, you don't make music to be on that label. But if that label comes and you like that label, and, you know, there was the events and everything. IDT was a big number those days.
I bought everything that IDT released.
But the funny story with Life Less Ordinary was that so Alex made that production and the string part from Rank 1, and him and I loved it, but it's just him and I. It was not Rank 1, like completely fell in love. It was not IDT. So I remember I went to Ibiza and I had the CD, the master CD, and Ferry Corson was playing Cream, and I said, Ferry, you know, play this in your set later. I mean, this is undoable, unthinkable. Even those days.
No.
And Ferry said, "What key is it?" I said, "Ferry, I don't know. Play it." you know. So and Ferry did play it. He played it. So we were in the VIP. He went on stage half an hour later, and the place went completely mad. You know, and that was the convincing part for Dick de Groot and for Rank 1 to release it, because it was a very special record.
It was meant to be an album track. It was meant to be an album track.
At the moment, it was quite revolutionary. Like with the I wouldn't say fart basses, but it was like a chunky instead of like the rolling bass line.
Exactly, very chunky. It was way out of the box, but as said, it was supposed to be an album track. And that was the guy said as well. You know, we thought it's more an album track, and we don't see it as a single release. And I mean, he was the biggest believer in the track. I was okay with it, but I was not convinced it's gonna be a big track. And then he went to Ibiza, and then he showed me the picture. And it's like, oh, wow. And I think it was the only track all the big guys played these days. All of them. I mean, you know make advertisement now, but all the big guys, DJs played it. Yeah, no matter if trance or whatever.
It was very crossover.
Yeah, it fitted everywhere. That's for sure. Later on then, because what I wrote down is that I remember very well, because I was still A&R at Armada at a certain point, that you were coming along as well with the Hands on Armada project. Ooh. Do you still remember that?
Of course,
So the concept was that you took a bunch of classics and remixed everything together, and that became an album.
It was part of the deal, carte blanche.
Yeah.
Woody was talking to Michael Piron. Said, we can do this. And that's a great idea. But the part of the deal is I picked the tracks.
Yeah.
So I picked my favorite tracks, which was great. I mean,
it was easy. It was even more easier. I mean, it was a great concept and great album, and it did well for everybody. But I remember you already did like 5-6 remixes, because his sound was like really hot. Everybody wanted remixes, and we picked out the people that we wanted to remix with Alex M.O.R.P.H. And Alex already had 5-6. And then I said, Michael, I mean, add another 5-6, you know,
and then here you go.
And then you have an album. And the Hands on Armada, the hands-on thing was like kind of Cool.
Yeah, but it was a bit more in the end. How many was it? How many tracks? 16?
Yeah,
8?
Quite a few. That's
quite a few. And very good.
Yeah, I remember that. And from that moment on, you also started releasing singles on the State of Trance label, of course.
Oh, yeah.
With, of course, An Angel's Love with Sylvia Tosun in 2011.
This was a funny part as well, because most of the guys we worked already with, like, oh, this is too cheesy. Oh, no, this is not cool. We don't hear this. And I tell you, half a year later, everybody was biting their butt because it was one of the biggest tracks.
It was, still is.
Yeah, and
also very high.
14 in top 1,000. Thank you again, guys.
That's amazing. That's
exactly.
That's how important of a track it became in 2011.
Crazy. But do you know a story about Walk the Edge and
tell me.
In the days Armin played.
I'm not sure if I know it.
Yeah, you know.
There you go.
Armin played on I don't remember the name of the event, but it was an Armin event in Holland. And he still had his Nokia telephone. I remember it like today. I think that was the first time that he puts up his telephone, and everybody puts up telephone and making videos and everything. and that was on Walk the Edge. And the record label said, we like the track, but we're not sure about the vocals, blah, blah, blah. And Armin played it with the vocals and made that video, and everybody, it went hilarious. And then, the record company was convinced and forced to release it with the vocals as well, because but you hear an accent, is probably a German singer and this and that, and
it's a difficult voice.
It's a very
problematic voice.
That was also in high contrast.
That was as well.
Yeah, because I remember we played in a show in Birmingham not too long ago, and we were standing in the queue for the passport control. I didn't see you for a long time, I think, before that, and we were talking about vinyl. That I know he has a big collection. I was telling him I recently paid €85 for Walk the Edge for the vinyl. He was like, "Are you crazy?"
I still have a few copies, so if anybody wants to buy.
No, I paid €85 for it.
Really?
It's well worth, because it's one of the evergreens in trance music.
I mean, thank you again. I mean,
well, you don't get anything of that money.
Anyways, but it's like it shows how much means a track for you. I mean, this is like
it's a lot of value. Yeah,
it's a nice compliment,
Yeah, but it's worth it because it's such a big track. A lot of releases on the State of Trance came afterwards. Eternal Flame, Monday Morning Madness, Waking the Stars, and wrote down as well Protoculture. And one memory I have to tell as well, because you both were part of this as well. I remember that you played the State of Trance in Den Bosch, I think, 2012 or 13. You played a track called Bang. And I remember you played it in your set, and now afterwards I was like, holy shit, what was that track that you played? And then it got signed to Armada, of course, later on as well, because that was an out-of-a-box track.
I remember that you were so enthusiastic about it. I remember that one, because you're like, oh, Alex, what is this? What is this?
Yeah.
And it was completely different. Again, a different track, but you usually did these days,
Yeah, well, because on one side you were doing the uplifting stuff, and then suddenly, bang, bang. Well, bang, there was bang.
No, that was a cool track. It was a nice collab with Jerome Ismail.
I played that for many years. Still play it sometimes in longer sets.
Yeah, you told me,
It's maybe a great tune, man.
I think we went viral with the promotion for that track, because we were in Bali a few days between shows in Indonesia and Japan or something, or Korea. And we had this little pool, and we felt like, wow, and now Bang is coming out. And I said, okay, let's write on a piece of paper Bang. You go in the pool and you hang out.
Oh, yeah, we did that.
And everybody went mad on that sign. Him in the pool with a Bang sign.
Viral those days is funny. That was MySpace, huh?
Yeah.
Those days was MySpace. It was easy, but only one platform.
As I said to Ruben, MySpace was the main sponsor of the 2009 album release. And that's 2009. It's not 400 years ago. It was,
15 years ago.
It's like that sometimes.
It feels.
Because everything is evolving so fast. That's what I mean.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Also, I have to mention the 2014, because you released two beautiful tracks with Natalie Gioia, Heaven and The Reason. Can you tell us a little bit more how you came about with the collaboration with Natalia?
Actually, she was contacting me on Facebook, and usually it was the way I told him, "Would you need a vocalist?" And he was like still connected, and he usually were taking care of the vocalist, you know. And I was like, "Yeah, this is vocalist, and on Facebook and here and there, but I think the voice is great. I'm not sure about the demos, you know." And so she sent a few demos. I said, "No, well, nice, but it's not fitting, you know." And I think we did that 4 or 5 times. She sent so many demos. And then finally there was this, I think Dreams was the first one. Mm-hmm. Was it Dreams? And it was like, that sounds cool, we can do something with that. And that was the beginning how to work together. But it took a while, honestly. It's not like I sent the demo and let's work together. She was really motivated. She sent a lot of demos and I refused a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think she started hating me already a bit.
I guess you're a perfectionist.
And then came the Dreams Up, and then My Heaven, and 3-4 tracks, and they worked really well. Yeah.
Still beautiful tracks as well. And 2015, you entered your superhero era.
Yeah. Cape one, no cape. I still don't have a cape, guys.
Still, you don't need it, obviously, so that's fine.
Don't find it.
But yeah, that was the return to Vendit. Obviously, you did your collabs with Paul van Dyk. In 2016, you also started your label Universal Nation with a collaboration with Liquid Soul. The last release on that was in 2022. You did 129 releases. What happened to the label Universal Nation? Because the radio show is still going.
Yeah, the radio show is still going. It's like it's
almost 500 episodes. It's also
bi-weekly now because you might know that as well. It's not so easy to fill a show with quality music every week. Yeah. And of course, my show is not as popular as A State of Trance. So it's like it's a harder digging for quality stuff. And I'm like, I have problems to find the stuff I really like. And when I put my name on it, it needs to have a certain level of quality. Yeah. At least I must like it a lot, Mm-hmm. But when I have already issues to find enough tracks I really like, it's like, okay, then let's put the pace a little bit down. I don't want to stop it completely, so it's bi-weekly now. Mm-hmm. But it's also, I don't need to tell you, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work, and it's like sometimes you think like, for what are you doing this? It's because it's time consuming, and
people listen to it, so
people do.
Yeah,
but I think the time frame for the people is getting smaller and smaller because many popular DJs doing a podcast, a radio show.
That's true,
and it's like
you have all these tech companies fighting for the time, fighting
exactly, and
because people want to scroll instead of listening to a radio show. They don't have the patience anymore to sit down for an hour.
That's what it is, and they're also like more busy.
Mm-hmm.
People have sometimes 2-3 jobs these days because, you know what I mean. The economy is changing. Prices are rising, so people are more busy with other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So where is the time actually to enjoy the music you like? So it's like it's only a few priorities that people can set what they can still enjoy. That's also coming on top, and it's like it's making it easier.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we made the decision to do it bi-weekly. So Woody takes over 1 week a month, and Martin de Jong. Great guy, so we gave him a week, and then it's like everybody's happy. We still keep the thing going, and
the label.
Yeah, the label. I was going a bit tired, to be honest, because I don't know. It's like maybe it was also sometimes this. I was searching for new talent, not always the established ones,
mm-hmm.
but it can make sometimes a little bit of headache because you have a little bit of rules what you have to follow or you should follow to make it. You try to make the best out of it. And everybody thinks when you sign with a label, your work is done and everything is with the label.
Yeah.
But the label can only work as good as the artist is cooperating.
That's true.
But when you release a track on your label and you write like, oh guys, this is a new Universal Nation and you watch out for this. And then 2 days earlier, 2 days later, 3 other tracks coming out with the same guy on another label.
You're like, come on, man. Yeah.
It's like the whole concept is like, running down the river. And it was like, you know what? I think this is the thing. I'm cutting down a little bit because
you only have limited time yourself as well.
I have enough to do myself, know. And I got tired explaining these things, and the team as well. And then you're asking for a video liner is not coming, or it's coming the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't blame these guys. They're so excited to have releases, but again, everybody needs to be happy a little bit, and it's getting. Like it's super time consuming. This is the part where I said, let's cut it down a bit. It's still there. I can still do stuff. Maybe we recover it one day or bring it back to life. But in the moment, I'm happy as I am.
Yeah, because in 2021 you started another label as well, M.O.R.P.H.
Oh yeah, that's exactly the MRPHLNDR and M.O.R.P.H exactly.
Yeah.
That was like a playground.
Because you were in the studio for that as well. I remember
it was COVID,
Yeah,
and or maybe before COVID, and it's like. To have an own playground, which is like the concept was like everything what is on M.O.R.P.H is combined with me somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I do a remix of a track I like, or it's a collaboration, and things like this.
Yeah,
but also a lot of work.
lot of work.
A lot of work.
Beautiful artwork. I remember those.
Thank you. Oh, it's amazing. We should make a T-shirt and sell it, maybe.
And sell it for 85 euros.
When it's buying the Walk the Edge already.
No, but if you think about it, Alex, I remember the days that we went to London to play, and you went to the Ministry of Sound shop and you buy for, I don't know, £200 a jacket because we had a release on the label, and you walk around with the label that you have a track on, and you went proud. You went like, wow, And these days, expectations of newcomers and half established, they go, okay, now I have a release on that label. I want to be as big as your main artist.
Yeah. I want to play all the nights, all the events.
I want to play all the events. We do our own events, but I can't put you on. Yeah, but you're on. I'm on the label, and so the expectations.
But you're also on that label,
There's no, we always like to have like a home base, and of course Alex is releasing on 2-3 labels, but it's not 200 labels like everybody does, and the expectations are very high. And I don't know if the thankfulness, people are saying, hey, it's cool, and just work hard, because whatever people forget is that it's still hard work, it's time consuming. It's not building roads, but it's hard work.
I think this is the main part. I'm not focusing too much about the own label. It's just a fun thing, and it was fun. But actually, there's enough work to do as Alex M.O.R.P.H and now with the MRPHLNDR. Yeah. And actually, I'm happy to give it to a label. They take care of it. To a high level label. And
in the meantime, you can make music instead.
Exactly. Yeah. And traveling and stuff. And it's like, 10 ideas are not made in 2 weeks. It's a lot of work. I don't know who's so crazy in bringing 10 ideas to a guest mix. But,
well, we had Alan Fitzpatrick and Reset Robot with Silver City a few weeks ago. They also brought 10 ideas. But it's the same,
Enthusiastic guy, the passion for music. It's like, when I get the chance and the invitation for a 1 hour guest mix, is not happening too often.
No.
In the past, I don't know how many times it happened at all. So I wanted to bring something, as I usually do when I come for a State of Trance, I bring something special. What was also on the events, remember that. So I was like, okay, this is a day,
Yeah, because like I said, you started MRPHLNDR. Was it last year or 2 years ago that you started it? I think it was last year.
2 years now, I think.
That's 2 years, but you started releasing last year.
Yeah, releasing was last year, exactly.
Yeah, and I remember because, like I said, I heard it for the first time at Trance Signal that you were playing those songs, and I really put my heart into to get you booked for A State of Trance in Utrecht on the progressive stage. How was that? What was that like?
That was amazing.
Yeah. Because normally you were used to playing the uplifting stages, I guess, and like the high BPMs. And suddenly you were playing a progressive.
It brought me a bit back to the days, because I got kind of nervous because the first set with the new music, and again,
are people gonna like it?
Yeah, of course. Does it work? Does it not work? The trends are going up and down and very fast changing sometimes.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also the very hard stuff is very popular. I'm not a big fan of these hard and fast things, and like, 124, 125, maybe slower. It's like, is it working out?
But it's working because it's still high energy. So the slow tempo, high energy.
Exactly, you can bring also the energy in there, and the set was amazing. The floor was packed like in 10, 15 minutes, and we had a great time. So amazing.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that it was a success. As a manager, Woody, how do you deal with that an artist has suddenly a new alias? How do you make sure that he keeps the focus on both of the projects at the same time? Well,
as Alex mentioned before, if he could do whatever he like, I think he would have 25 aliases a day, kind of, So it was always, there was the M.O.R.P.H with the dots, there was Alex M.O.R.P.H without the dots, and there was this, and and there's been so many Grünheide and Doppeldieter, and there's been so many names that
Doppeldieter.
So many names. I used to have, put everything on one card, because that is what I strongly believe.
Yeah, that was different. Like, we came out of a time where, for example, Ferry and you guys as well, that had aliases, I don't know, 20 or 30 of them, because you had so much music to put out. And then we went back to the one alias.
Yeah. But musically, it's a psychological thing as well, that you say, okay, Alex M.O.R.P.H is known for this and this, and people expect this from him.
Yeah.
So he has to deliver this. And on the other side, his musical freedom is far beyond and far more and far bigger. So if the MRPHLNDR goes in that direction where he wants to go it, and even at the end the acid track he just played, it's perfect, because their creativity will come back to the Alex M.O.R.P.H project as well. Because sometimes people are like blocked, and people, what do I do? And again, a ziggedick melody, and again 138 BPM. I want to try something else.
You know,
But why did you decide to start a new alias for it then? Because I think it still sounds like Alex M.O.R.P.H, because it's still very melodic and it's still high energy. It's just not it's just a different tempo. That's it. Because for example,
that's true. But it's like, you know,
it's for yourself.
That decision was sleeping for ages, because when I play shows in Ibiza for Shine and opening for Paul, for example, I played this music already like 120 and even more deeper, you know.
Yeah.
And we tried it many times. Like, you know what, Alex M.O.R.P.H is Alex M.O.R.P.H, and let's do it like that.
And it confuses people, I guess.
It does confuse them, and then they're like, see the name, oh, Alex M.O.R.P playing, and they're coming from all the way, I don't know, Australia, whatever. I mean, everybody travels to Ibiza very far, you know, long distances, you know, and they come to the show and they're like,
can you play An Angel's Love?
And Angel's Love, you know, and or Walk the Edge, and it's like, oh, what is he doing there? What is this? You know,
you're just vibing there.
Yeah, of course, this vibing is great, but it's like the people are like, yeah, you know, you played an amazing set, but you didn't play An Angel's Love.
Maybe you should make an updated version.
And you have to accept it, you know. I mean, when it's like that, I mean, you try to do that. It's not that we didn't try it, but when you try to do that and you see it's not working the way it should, people don't get it. I mean, when you buy Coca-Cola, you expect a taste of Coca-Cola and not of Fanta or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
you know, I mean, everybody can do whatever he likes, and there's a few artists, only a few, who get accepted. Whatever they do is get accepted by the people.
Yeah.
But as I say, when you go to buy this can of Coca-Cola, you accept that taste and nothing else. Even Coca-Cola thinks, oh, the new recipe is nicer. Yeah, but it doesn't matter, because the person wanted like
why
that.
I'm saying is because I had the same discussion here in the studio with Sean Thijs, for example, and he recently started also doing like still banging uplifting stuff, and I was like, why are you releasing this as nice instead of Sean Thijs? And he decided to do it under Sean Thijs. And he starts playing it out also now, because he realized that I guess sets are more open format nowadays than they're just stuck to just one sound. That's how, at least how I see it. My sets also, they start on 1-4, 1-5, and end 140, for example. I guess more people are more accepting that there's a different sound into every set. That is not less. It's not that starts 138, ends 138. You can do more. Like the crowd that goes to events nowadays is more open-minded than the people that are stuck in the past.
If it works for Sean like that, congratulations. And I think you are wider with the music since start, you know. But I experience it the other. Still, I experience it the other way around.
Yeah.
Because the catalog is so big, you know.
Possible, yeah.
The catalog is so big, and it's like, why you didn't play Moonlight? And why didn't you play this? And why you didn't play that? And it's like, but all of these tracks are like that. Nobody's asking me, oh, you didn't play Bang, for example. You love it. And it was a big success. I mean, Axwell played it. I mean, I walked in Nature One Festival, main stage, and Axwell...
You're like, hey, I know this track.
And Axwell is playing my tune. It's like, you know, why not? You know, great. You did something right with this one. But nobody asking for these tracks.
No.
They're asking for that range. So why shall I push it then? I mean, accept it. It's fine. I mean, I love that music anyways. And there's so much new Alex M.O.R.P stuff coming as well. You're gonna drop your pants, I tell you. The new singles are coming up soon, and fine with that. But this gives me also a lot. It's way easier this way, I think.
Yeah, and also maybe you can play longer sets that you can do both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For example, this is a thing you can do the opening.
I love playing these 3-hour sets nowadays. Like you can just tell a whole story instead of
like a fusion set or something, you know. And that works. I mean, I did it later in UK, and it worked really well.
Yeah.
And it's also interesting part to do it that way. I mean, if the people accept it in this way or the other way, I don't know. But I feel better with this. I mean, at least I'm the artist. I should feel good with this, you know.
It's true, because in the end you're making music for yourself.
Exactly. And it's like I need to enjoy it as well. And I did so many times. I did this crossover set, and I had this more disappointment sometimes in the comments. I mean, always the disappointments.
Yeah, but the people that are
stuck out in the positive ones, you know.
There's just one thing about the internet is that people that had a good time are not posting that they had a good time. It's only the people. So you have 1,000 people, and you have 2 people that are writing down, "Oh, this was shit," and that goes into your head, like all these people from.
Yeah, but as you say, you're a perfectionist. But
yeah,
this
of
one,
course,
this
but
one tickles
please,
you. I mean,
you cannot please everyone.
Yeah, but you know the situation.
Of course,
I do.
But I'm
back
just
from a
devil's
3-hour
advocate.
set, and it's like the only thing is like, "Oh, amazing set, but you didn't play the Angel's Love." And I said, "You know what? I can make an offer. Next time I'm gonna play 3 hours in the Angel's Love." Oh, amazing!
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that because it's so easy to divert to that one person that is saying bad shit about your set.
Oh yeah, right. You have to find the balance
most of the times
with
those
it.
people are not even there because they don't buy tickets. They just sit behind their screen like, Alex is not making an Angel's Love. What is this M.O.R.P.HLNDR shit? That's just how it is nowadays.
That's true. But you know what? I can live with that stuff because I made the solution. We took our time to decide this.
Yeah.
Yeah, very well thought about this. So, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, when the wind is blowing in your face, but you made the decision yourself, then you're 100% behind it. Then you can deal with it.
Yeah.
When you're not 100% behind it, then a little tickle already is like bothering you. Like, I didn't decide it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. I mean, in the end, you always have people complaining and writing, stuff they shouldn't do because they're bored and frustrated.
People say things. That's just what it is.
And that's what it is. I mean, this
all I'm saying is that I love the M.O.R.P.HLNDR stuff, but you already know that. I've known it, and I'm looking forward to release our collaboration as well.
Oh yeah,
that's coming up as well, of course. So please keep on doing that M.O.R.P.HLNDR stuff because I love it. And as well, now you see that you played 10 new tracks. You have your release schedule for the next year already done, so we can sort all of those things. So
depending on some speed on some labels, maybe longer.
That's how it is sometimes.
Let's see. But it's fine, you know, it's fine. But
there's no rush.
Exactly. And this is the thing. I mean, for me, this is timeless music.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you have a thing like 1 year old is like, it sounds a bit outdated. But for me, this is like a timeless.
It's still fresh. Yeah.
It sounds fresh because the sounds, I mean, there's some these old school synthesizers like Vangelis used and you know, Michel Jarre and all these guys. I mean, these pioneers, you find these sounds. They never get old when you do it in the right composition, in the right mix down, you know. And it's like, this is timeless music for me. So I don't worry as well like to have a crazy pace like with the Alex M.O.R.P.H, like to have a constant release schedule all the time. It's like, this is music to have fun.
Yeah, well, that's the most important, that you have fun making music. There's actually a question from a fan about the mixdown on this. Mod Farai 4 wants to know, Alex always has the best sounding tracks and vocals. Can you give us a secret mixing tip?
Patience. Patience. I mean, sometimes you get the vocals and it's like, this is taking 10 times more time than the whole track. I mean, you are working with vocals as well. And recording sometimes get also a little bit, everybody's recording at home, I have the feeling these days, which is nice because it makes it easier and saves money because you don't need an engineer. But this is giving like also the cause that you have to invest way more time in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm still thinking the vocals are sounding okay. When I look to USA, how these guys process the vocals, I mean, anybody watch this like in a YouTube or a tutorial, how these guys process the vocals for the big artists, then I think I would jump off the bridge because this is like ridiculous. Yeah, they're compressing little letters, you know, parts like milliseconds, and then slicing it and here and there and all together. And they're commenting, it doesn't sound nice yet. And then like, okay. Yeah, this is like.
So just the most important thing you would say is take your time and make everything sit right in the mix.
Take your time, and you need to trust your hearing. I think it's only about the hearing. It's the same with the chef in the kitchen. It's about the taste. I mean, you can ask the chef, how did you make this pizza? Tasting so difficult, or so much better than the other pizza. And he said, you know, I take salt and a little bit of this and of that. But it's the balance of it. Yeah. But you can teach the people how much. You need to taste yourself.
Yeah. You have to judge your own ears. You have to.
It's the ears, you know, and it's like
ears,
listening again, cycle. Sometimes you go on bananas. You dream. Sometimes I'm dreaming of the sentences I'm working on because you hear it all the time. It's like a brainwashing.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have it as well? Sometimes when you go to bed after a long studio night, it's like you know, like It's in your back mind, like.
And the worst thing is that things are popping up while you're just almost falling asleep. You're like, I should have done that sample there, or that maybe a little bit.
Right. In this half sleep, you're not reaching the level of full sleep in the this when you're feeling like the dentist gave you the propofol, it's like and it's stuck in your brain, and it continues, and you almost go bananas sometimes. You feel like that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But we've been talking way too long already, but it's nice to thank you, Woody, for jumping in as well.
Thank you.
Longest podcast ever.
No, not really. But I think the nice thing is that I know if you're coming back next time, we have more than enough to talk about anymore in the future as well. So because we didn't even talk about Star Wars, for example, or
next time we're gonna talk about how they stole the taxi driver's license in it, but we don't do the next time.
Okay, we're gonna.
yeah.
I still have it.
Okay. This is a story we need to talk about next time when Woody is here in the studio, maybe.
It's outdated. Nothing can happen, hopefully. It's outdated.
All right. Thank you so much for coming by. Also, thank you for the audience here in the studio for listening in on this very long talk. Next time, we're going to be back here in the studio with another podcast with In The Seat then, UFO. See you then. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in. Check all previous episodes on YouTube or your favorite podcast portal.